We're going to talk a lot about the best players you can draft in fantasy football, but who is the single worst pick that you could possibly make? We've each got our own take on that. Don't forget that you can find our preseason rankings, bonus content such as videos, articles, and dynasty course on how to build a champion. We're already in the process of drafting with some of our viewers. That's all available on flockfantasy.com/endgame. We've got so much more to offer you. And look, the season isn't that far off. This is the time to take advantage of 30% off any subscription. Again, check out flockfantasy.com/endgame, link down below, and see what we're talking about. All right, you guys know there are some players we're just not going to touch. But Chris, I'm curious, who's the one guy right now that for you is the worst possible pick?
All right, look, there's a few guys that I've talked about a lot this year. Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, they're terrible picks. But this is the one pick, I can't even figure out why this pick is being made. Why are we drafting Jameson Williams inside the top 100 players? He's basically a rookie this year who's going to miss the first 6 games because he's suspended. Because you look last year, he never played more than 25% of the snaps in any of the games. Of course, coming off that ACL injury. He had one whopping catch last year. One catch. Now, granted, it was a touchdown, but only one catch. Now, this year, you were thinking, okay, he's going to use the first half of the season, kind of get a feel for the NFL game, get some snaps under him, get some experience. But now that's out the window because he's not playing the first 6 games. So now he's basically going to start week 7 as a rookie, basically, almost like his first NFL game because last year basically doesn't even count. By the time this guy gets going, if he even gets going, the season's going to be over. And not only that, he's on Detroit. It's not like he's on the Chiefs or the Bills or the Bengals or some offense where you're like, it's okay because the quarterback is so good. I know Jared Goff was better than we're used to last year, but he still wasn't anything special. Jameson Williams, to me, is just a complete wasted pick. I don't understand it. There's other guys you can draft who aren't going to miss the first 6 games and who actually have NFL experience and will get you fantasy points. I'm not drafting Jameson Williams ever.
It's funny you say that because, look, if I was picking a receiver, that's exactly who I would pick. Everything you said and then some. I mean, look, a lot of people just go back to the college pedigree and say he's guaranteed to be a stud. Look at where he was drafted. No, the NFL is a different beast, and he has done nothing yet to prove that he can handle being a legit number 1 receiver. And oh, by the way, they already have a number 1 receiver. His name is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, there's a lot of players that I will love and I'll beat the drum for, even well past when everybody else has jumped off the bandwagon. And I guess I've always kind of had a thing to support Dalvin Cook when nobody else has. But you know what? I'm out. I'm off the bandwagon, and I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, we still don't really know where he's going to play next year. And even if it stays in Minnesota, I think it's pretty clear that they don't have a lot of confidence in him being the guy. And we've already heard that Alexander Mattison is going to get more touches. This has become more of a pass-friendly offense anyways with O'Connell there. They just added another stud receiver, Jordan Addison, through the draft. And so the number of touches where, the days where he's been a workhorse back, I think those days are limited. Even if best case scenario for him, he stays in Minnesota and becomes, I guess, the de facto number 1 running back again. But here's the other thing. Even if he is in Minnesota or Miami or wherever he winds up, what have we seen from Dalvin Cook? He's fine during the beginning of the season, and then he chokes when it matters most. That's right, the fantasy playoffs. A couple years in a row now, we've seen him either pull up hurt late, just be ineffective, and that is exactly what you don't want. You want a guy who finishes strong, and even if he manages to stay healthy for most of the season, he's going to let you down when it matters. You can't count on him. His ceiling is, well, we've already seen his ceiling. It was in the past. It's not in the future. So the best case scenario is we've already seen what you're going to get from him, which is what you got last year. It's not a guy who's an RB1. Why is he still being drafted like one? People are taking him as a starting running back. You've got to get somebody with more upside, with more potential. So even if he does go to a place that might be considered more desirable, some people will then be in on him again. We could see him go to the Dolphins or the Broncos or somewhere, and everyone will say, that's it. He's in a better situation. He's the guy. And then they're going to be even higher on him than they should be. So I'm out. I'm done with him. I think he might be serviceable. Like, he's not completely worthless, but for where he's being drafted, I think he's basically just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, can't argue with that pick. I will say I'm a little shocked you didn't pick Michael Thomas, though. It seemed like the easy pick for you, Michael Thomas. But yeah, I agree with Dalvin Cook. I'm done with Dalvin Cook. Maybe if you fell to the double-digit rounds, but that'll never happen.
Those are the worst picks you could possibly make. But you want to know, of course, who are the best picks that we have out there? Find out right here.